We want you to feel the deliciousness of the open loop and what's coming and what's blowing and flowing and going right now, and not be fixated on that manifestational moment which will come. It would be like being an artist. Esther has a painting in her new apartment that wouldn't fit in anything. It wouldn't fit in anything. It wouldn't fit in the elevator. It wouldn't fit through the doorways. It wouldn't fit in anything. It must have taken a really long time to paint. It must have just been so satisfying to just continue to find another reason to keep that thing going. Now Esther keeps moving it from place to place. They actually have to take the frame off of it and roll it up and move it that way. And as far as Esther's concerned, it will never be finished because she just keeps loving it for another reason and another reason and another reason. Nothing's ever done. So if we could get you to get hooked on the eternal unfolding that is you, and not so fixated on this goalpost and this goalpost and this goalpost, because the loops are going to close. Bam, 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 bam. It's all coming to you. You cannot not get what you want. You cannot be denied what you want. It's coming, but just slow it way down by taking score of when is it coming? Where's it going to come from? Who's going to bring it? When's it going to get here? If instead you're enjoying the journey of it expanding and unfolding, really, do you want to nail it down before you've collected it? Let manifestations be the very last minute. Can you hear us? This is what Esther keeps saying to her publisher. Let the manifestation of this book be the very last minute, because there's so much good stuff that keeps coming in. And let's not stop right now and act like we're done. Let's just let it keep coming. Let's just keep enjoying the pleasure of the unfolding, the pleasure of the unfolding of me, the pleasure of the unfolding of me, the pleasure of the unfolding of me. If you could just get that feeling within you, and we promise you all the baubles and contraptions and vehicles and events and landscapes and buildings and material things, they'll all be there. They will never stop coming. They will never stop coming. They will never stop coming. Your desire will never cease to be answered, ever. But you all get blocked up because you want it, but you're looking at its absence. And every moment that you're looking at its absence, you're not allowing the energy to flow through you to it. So if you're not going to look at its becoming, then look at something else. But don't keep taking score of what's not happening, because it is happening. When you turn loose of something, when you say, I desire this, it is done. It is a vibrational reality. How are you going to turn that thought into a manifested reality? How are you going to turn these thoughts to things? You got to care more about the thoughts than the things. You got to care more about the chemistry of the thoughts than the things. You got to care about how you feel in this moment. My day is about, I'm exhilarated, I'm on fire, I'm happy, I'm peaceful, I'm soothed, I'm in love, I love, I'm satisfied, I'm eager. These are the things that you want to take score of, because the other stuff all follows. You cannot pick anything out that your inner being and the universe at large is not all over. The cooperative components are being and have been gathered. If you could see in your vortices, you would never worry about anything. You'd be surprised and delighted if you could get a glimpse of it, maybe even shocked, and you might even think it was somebody else's vortex because you didn't remember specifically asking for that. But you did. You did, and it's perfectly tailored to you. But you don't close the loop on the things you want while you're worrying about what isn't coming. Any moment that you're worried about something not coming won't let any loop close. And do you know there are dozens, if not hundreds, of loops ready to close for every one of you? Hundreds of loops ready to close that you're not letting happen in this moment because you're taking score, or pointing blame, or feeling mad, or playing an old game that doesn't even mean anything to you anymore. You feel how you feel, and how you feel is what you get. And you can't just all of a sudden feel differently than you feel. That's not our point. We're willing to talk to you endlessly in order to help you find this place of confidence and clarity that you had when you were born and that you still had when you were in your 20s. It's that understanding that instead of an understanding which sounds mental, let's call it an emotion, which is an indicator. Play a game with us. Think about something that you want, any of those things you mentioned, and then lay over that idea, that event, whatever it is. Lay over it the feeling of certainty. It doesn't have to be right now, but it feels certain. Now muck it up a little bit with some stories like the ones you just told us about strikes and difficulty and stuff. Muck it up a little bit and feel the difference between the feeling of certainty and possibility. Now muck it up a little more. Talk with somebody, complain with somebody, join a picket line. Don't have fun today. You don't have to work, so go do something fun. Play our game, muck it up a little. Go complain with somebody, and now it was certain, but it isn't now. And then it felt like a possibility, but it doesn't now. Now it feels like unlikely. And just feel the difference in those feelings and realize that you're in control of which of those feelings you feel. And your now moment is about this feeling and this feeling and this feeling and this feeling. So if you muck around in a bunch of feelings of uncertainty or not likely or unwanted, if that becomes your practiced thought, then you walk around in a world that treats you that way because that is your point of attraction. And the law of attraction can't say, she doesn't mean it. She doesn't mean it. I've seen into her vortex and she doesn't mean it, because it's now. What are you letting in now? What are you letting in now? And so that's why it has to be okay with you to have an open loop, an unfinished loop. It isn't complete. The script isn't ready. The film isn't being made yet. It's not ready. You have to make way for the open loop. You have to make peace with the open loop. You have to make peace. We're going to lay it on as thick as we can. Harder for you to do than for us to do it for you, because we've got the big picture. You have to make peace with the eternalness of you. You all think you're in a hurry because you've got this finite whatever. You put out these false endings that you call goals or requirements or deadlines or even what you call death. You put these false ending places and then you torture yourself about them. You don't have to. We want so much for you too. Accept the open-looped, open-endedness, eternal nature of that which you are. And then you got to decide, how do I want to spend the part of eternity that I'm focused in this body? Do I want to be eager or limpid? Do I want to be appreciative or critical? Do I want to feel exhilaration or depressed? We know that you can't switch it all of a sudden, but you can focus toward it until you primarily are on the upper half of the emotional scale. Can you put it up? You have a card maybe in your hand. It was left on your chair. The emotional guidance scale, that from 6 up, hopefulness. 5, optimism. 4, positive expectation, belief. 3, enthusiasm, eagerness, happiness. 2 is passion. 1 is joy and knowledge and empowerment, freedom and love and appreciation. That's where you all planned to live. And it's not wrong that you dip into some of that other stuff. It's not wrong that you observe it and that it stings you and that you know what you don't want so that you can launch some rockets of what you do want. But in this open loop that you are eternally living, what are you waiting for? You got to get the money in the bank before you're going to let yourself love? You got to get the money in the bank before you let yourself be happy? Or can you accept that your inner being is happy? Your inner being is the larger part of you. And that if you just give yourself a little bit of a break from pushing against something, you might find yourself feeling the elation of alignment for a moment. And then another one, 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 until when you see someone unhappy, your only thought is, been there, done that, didn't like it. Been there, done that. Sometimes I still go there, sometimes I still feel that way. Don't like it, don't stay there. Because I know the chemistry of my body and what it is telling me. You are source energy in physical bodies. and you're really good at creating. And you came with powerful intention to not just create, but to adore doing it. Not just to get stuff done, because from that perspective, you know, we're never going to get it done. That isn't the goal. That isn't the goal of eternity. That's the goal of someone that doesn't understand the eternal nature of your being. Don't let anybody put a deadline on you, and don't put one on yourself. Just keep that happy loop open.